My name is Bipasha Bhattacharyya, and there's not much one can say about Professor Dasgupta without getting emotional at this point of time, because we've just lost him. It hasn't been a long time. So for all of us who've known him very well, we still feel that loss very deeply. There's a word in Esperanto called kabe. It's a verb. So we often say ili kabeos in the movement. So what it means, this word, which is actually named after Kazimierz Bain, who was a close associate of Zamenhof himself, and who was very actively involved in the early years of Esperanto, followed by an almost silently slipping away. So the verb kabe, named after Bain, actually indicates a person who was very active in the Esperanto movement, followed by a silent slipping away. But now I think of kabe now in two ways. One, in a way, Professor Dasgupta's going away in my life is intense communication followed by a silent, almost unbelievable slipping away. I still don't believe that he's not here. I used to speak to him on email almost every day. But I had intended initially to become somebody who would have left in that way from the movement. I had never intended to be somebody who studied Esperanto with any great detail. I had just started an MA on Lokishore Shingo, who was spoken about earlier today. And Probal Babu had known Lokishore Babu very well. So I had written to him for an interview. And what began as an interview became a almost daily communication, ranging from science fiction to Esperanto literature to translations to conversations about politics. And then the PhD that I ultimately ended up writing was basically, it was a conversation with him. And there is much more work to be done and much more to say. I find myself thinking that he's just sitting right here listening to all of us and smiling and critiquing the way that we're sort of being self-indulgent in these remembrances. But other than the fact that he has changed the way I look at linguistics, history. I come from the discipline of history, but have now become somebody who writes in the field of linguistics a bit as well. I can't imagine a world where he isn't just a message away, where I can't just write to him and ask him a question. So that is all that there really is to say. It isn't very coherent, but I miss him. He was my friend. He was my teacher. He taught me everything I know about Esperanto, and that isn't something that can ever be replaced. Thank you.